So what is variance and how to calculate variance? In this short video, we'll explore this concept of variance in statistics. We'll start from very basic and try to explain this concept with help of some relevant examples. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere else, just sit back, relax and enjoy this video. What is variance? Variance is a measure of how dispersed the data is with respect to mean. In simple terms, variance tells us how far each data point in a dataset is from the mean. It measures the overall deviation from the mean or the center value. So when the variance is low, data points are tightly clustered around the mean, leading to the steeper and narrower curves as you can see in this green graph. This indicates that most values are close to average, resulting in a greater stability and consistency in the dataset. On the other hand, when the variance is high, data points are more spread out, making curve flatter and wider, as you can see in the red graph. This means that there is a greater variability in the dataset, which could indicate the inconsistency or diverse pattern in the data. It is often denoted by sigma square or the variance. The formula to calculate variance. Suppose if you have a population data, the formula is sigma square is equal to summation x minus x bar ka whole square divided by capital N. So if you have the population data which represents the entire population, you will use this formula to calculate variance. But if you have a sample data, the formula is s square is equal to summation x minus x bar ka whole square divided by n minus 1. Then when the data is a sample from large population, we'll use this formula. In the denominator, you will see we have n minus 1 instead of capital N. This is known as Bessel's correction. So when we calculate variance from sample, using n in the denominator would give a biased result. And by using n minus 1, we adjust for this underestimation, providing more accurate estimation of the population variance. So in this formula, your sigma square represents the population variance and s square represents the sample variance. X is equal to the each individual data point. X bar is a mean value. Capital N is the total number of observations in the population, while small n is the total number of observations in the sample. Summation x minus x bar ka whole square is the sum of squared deviations from the mean. And this is the formulas, so you can use the formulas according to the population or sample. Now, standard deviation is nothing but the under root of variance. This is how the standard deviation and variance are related to each other. Let's take an example. Imagine that you have a group of friends and you want to analyze their height. You could start by calculating their average height, which could give you a central value. But does everyone in the group have similar height? Probably not. Some friend might be taller than the average, while others might be shorter than the average. This is where the variance comes into picture. So variance help us measure this spread, how much individual height differ from the average height. So smaller variance means that most of your friends are close to the height, while the larger variance means a big difference in the height among them. So by calculating variance, you gain insight into how much variation exists in the data rather than just relying on the single average value. This is how you calculate the initial difference from the mean value. Now for this sixth group of individuals, we have first calculated their individual height and then calculated the mean and then subtracted each individual height from the group mean. Let's see how we have done this one by one. In our case, our group mean was 106.33. Now we need to calculate the squared differences. How we do it? Let's do it one by one. So for the first candidate, the average height is 113. Subtract that from the group mean 106.33, square it, which comes to as 44.49. Similarly, we do it for second one, like 146.5 minus the group mean, that is 106.33 whole square. This comes to as 1613.63. Similarly, we do it for all 6 individuals. We have calculated now each square differences for all of these individuals. We'll put this in the variance formula and then submit, and then divide by 6 because the number of candidates are 6. We come to as variance as 1075.16. That is a variance. Now, if you have to calculate the standard deviation, you have to underroot that, which comes to the variance comes to as 107.165 and the standard deviation comes to as 32.79. So that is how you calculate variance. In case if you have to calculate standard deviation, you know it is under root of variance. So with this, I think you have understood the concept of variance. If you still have any questions, please leave those questions in the comment section below. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and do press that bell icon for all the notification from digital learning. And if you're watching this video on Instagram or Facebook, do follow us on all these platforms. You can also look at our website for interesting articles and videos. Link for all these is given below in the description. Now is the quiz time on this topic. Read the questions and leave your answers in the comment section below. First question. What is the relationship between variance and the standard deviation? Options are: variance is the square root of standard deviation. Variance is the square of standard deviation. Variance and standard deviation are always equal. Variance is always greater than standard deviation. Question number 2. If all the values in dataset are same, what is the variance? A 0, B 1, C equal to mean, D undefined. Question number 3. What happens to the shape of the normal distribution when the variance decreases? Option A, the curve becomes flatter and wider. The curve remains unchanged. The curve becomes steeper and narrower. D, the mean shift to the right. You can leave your answers in the comment section below.